Um, I've had over 100 at one point. But a lot
Oh,
of the times we have to like sell dolls to buy new dolls. So and collect my collection has changed a lot over the years.
hiya, welcome to Share Your Story with Saima. I would like to first say thank you very much for being a guest on my show. We're just going to go straight into it because I have done an introduction for you. So I would like to know a bit about you, obviously your name, your childhood, and your love for dolls, please.
My name is Victoria. I've always loved dolls ever since I was very little. Had tons of dolls, especially like Barbie dolls growing up, and a couple of baby dolls, but I was more into all sorts of dolls, every doll you can think of really, Cabbage Patch,
Yeah.
anything I can get my hands on really. Um, yeah, and uh, I used to play dolls with my sister growing up, my little sister, a couple of years younger than me, so we used to love the dolls, but I started getting a bit older and I decided to try and get rid of all my dolls, as you do when you start pre-teen and you're like, oh no, I've got to get rid of these, got to grow up a bit. And then like it was only a couple of years later I found out about reborn dolls. So
Right. So before we touch upon reborn dolls, so you've always had a passion for the baby dolls that, you have the bottle, the dummy, little blanket, comforter, and then you
yeah.
have the Barbie dolls. Did you have any preference towards any specific one? Because going back to my childhood, I've always loved dolls in general. I do like Barbie dolls, still do today. But I'm more of a baby doll person, and I
Yeah.
always have been, still am today as well. So, but I'm not a collector, so which
Yeah.
I openly admit. I'd love to be, but I don't think it'd be something that I would invest in just as yet. But I want to understand as to why um, people invest in reborn babies. So
Yeah.
tell me a bit about, obviously, when you started to look into reborn babies.
Well, I sort of stumbled across them by accident, searching for other things on the internet.
Okay,
I was looking for like, sorry.
carry on,
Oh,
carry on.
I was I was looking for like really weird things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer action figures I think at the time, and then stumbled across these horror-like dolls that were baby dolls but with like horns and fangs, and they were called Crypt Kiddies. And I loved the contrast of like really cute like a baby but also scary, and so that intrigued me. And then following on from them, I found like links to Oak horror dolls and reborn dolls, one of a kind dolls, which is what Oak stands for. And I saw the reborn baby dolls, and I couldn't believe they were real. To be honest, I thought they can't really look like that in what they look like in the pictures. In flesh, they must look different. They can't look that real. So my curiosity got the better of me, and I bought one to see what it looked like.
Wow. So was there any particular reason that you decided to look into? I know you're saying that you accidentally came across them,
Yeah.
but how did you accidentally come across them? Like, was it just a page that opened up or an
Yeah.
advertisement?
Well, I was I was on a some sort of fan geek sort of page for um figures and dolls and stuff, and then I went on eBay and I searched in for the Oak horror dolls, and it came up on like other suggestions, similar suggestions, which is
Mhm.
where it came up with reborn dolls. And I clicked on that, and then was hit with loads of pictures of these realistic babies, and I was just like, wow, like, and I thought
So,
also wow because they were more expensive quite a bit as well. So I was like, wow
absolutely.
with the realism and wow with the price.
Yeah, I mean, how much are the dolls that you've come across? How much do they start from?
I, well, I mean, I think they can start from, they can, the cheapest one I've got in my collection is £150. You can get them quite low, but they usually do tend to go more £300 upwards, sort of thing, for most dolls. I find. I think on average, the ones I collect are about £600 each. But
Wow.
there's all different ones. There's really realistic ones, the silicone ones, and they can go for up to 20 grand for a doll.
Understand.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know.
And do these dolls um like do anything? Like, do they cry, or do they have some sort of heartbeat or anything?
Yeah, well, most don't, but you can get them with. They can put mechanisms in them to like make crying noises or heartbeat. I've seen some, and their chest slightly goes in and out as well to look like they're breathing, and you can hear the breathing with a mechanism inside them. I got one once, and it had a beating heart mechanism, and if you pressed it, you hear like da dun da dun da dun, and
Oh,
I didn't like it.
yeah, I found, I think, because I was doing a bit of research before, of course, our talk, and there's Ashton Drake dolls,
Yeah,
a few of them that have the obviously the beat and the heartbeat and stuff.
yeah.
Um, and there's a few more that people actually hand make, which we will look into um, in a while. So as soon as you saw the dolls, did you just click straight away? Did you think about it?
I thought about it for a bit because of the price.
Right,
So
of
I
course.
thought about it for a second.
Yeah.
uh, I think the first one I bought was it wasn't like that cheap. I went for quite a nice looking one. I think back then because that was 12 years ago now, and I think it was £250. And so I so it's quite a lot of money to splash out on curiosity, but I got her to see what she looked like, and she just looked so cute in the pictures. I thought, I want this doll. I want to see what she looks like. Bring her home. So,
And of course, your collection, you started to build a collection. So, what's the most amount of dolls, reborn babies, that you have had?
um, I've had over 100 at one point. But a lot of
Oh,
the times we have to, like sell dolls to buy new dolls. So, and collect my collection has changed a lot over the years.
right, okay. And what do you do with these dolls? Like, do you change them every day? Do they come with nappies? Do you change their nappies as well?
They can come with some do come with nappies. I think they're really cute. I occasionally do things with them. I'm more of a visual collector. I like to make sure they look really nice, put them in one outfit I really like, and then put them on a shelf and have them on display to look at them. But I have done like before, like have one to cuddle, like while watching TV, or just have a little hold, sort of thing. Style their hair, dress, change their outfits sometimes, sort of thing, which is nice. But I know a lot of people. I've got a lot of friends who are a lot more into treating them like real babies. Like I've got friends who will change their like outfits several times a day, like change them into pajamas at night, and go through like a lot lengthy process of doing a lot with their dolls every day.
Wow, that's really interesting. So, because we usually role play things like that to children, don't we? That you have to
Yeah,
hold the baby in a certain way if you have a baby brother or sister. But you
yeah,
never think that adults would obviously treat a baby, well, a reborn doll, should I say, like this. Why do you think they do that? Or if you did that, why did you do
yeah.
that?
I think it's quite comforting, really, and also it's quite relaxing, and your maternal instincts come out, and also it's a lot more relaxing with the dolls because they're not real babies, so they're not going to scream at you or anything. They're going to start flailing their arms around when you're changing them, so it's quite relaxing sort of thing, and you know, especially when you're feeling a bit broody, or if you're feeling a bit down, it's nice to hold a baby, have a little cuddle,
Yeah.
you know, because it's like what is it meant to be, stroking cats, like petting animals is meant to like release stress and depression and stuff, and I think it's sort of similar things. I've always found like animals and babies cute and stuff, so it's just
Yeah. Oh,
quite
bless
relaxing.
you. So you had 100, about up to 100 dolls. So where did
Yeah,
you keep them all?
I had lots of shelves put up, shelves
Oh,
everywhere on every wall, and yeah, it took quite a while because when we first put the shelves up, we didn't realise like because they're realistically weighted, so some of them are like £8, and if you've got 8 dolls on one shelf, the shelves kept falling down and kept breaking. They couldn't take the weight, so we had to keep putting all these brackets up underneath the shelves so they'd stay up and take the weight of the dolls.
oh my God. So it's more like a display, wasn't it, that you kept for yourself? And right. And so how old was you when you started collecting? Because you said it was 12 years ago, so
Yeah, I was 16.
you were
Right,
16.
16, yeah. When I
Right.
when I got my first reborn doll.
Right. And was your family quite supportive of you getting a reborn doll? It's fine.
Yeah, they didn't really, you know, bat an eyelid, take any notice until like it got to the stage where like they noticed there was a lot of dolls. And it was like, oh, like, yeah, I don't know why you quite need this many. And I was
So
like, oh,
pretty obvious that you've still got a massive passion for the dolls.
yeah.
But I remember you did say when I did reach out to you that you found out something um, about children. Could you tell me a bit about that, please?
Sorry, which was that bit? The
It was
about the children.
about whether you could have children or not.
Oh yeah, well it was when I was 15. I was going through a lot of issues with my, you know, body and everything. I started puberty quite young at like 11, and then I then started having like really irregular periods, a lot of weight gain, and found out I had PCOS, and I'd only have like a period once a year, and it was really, really irregular, and like so highly irregular. And I went to my doctor, and they did some like blood tests and stuff, and they found out like I had high levels of testosterone, and they diagnosed me with PCOS. But because of the rarity of my how rare I ovulated, he said that it is highly unlikely that I'd have children.
Oh.
So I found out that when I was 15, just before like late 15, just before I come across the dolls.
So did you feel these reborn babies were a comfort to you? That
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
they definitely comforted me. You know, and I thought, you know, I can't have my, you know, real babies, but I can have these, you know, lovely dolls, and they're gorgeous. So I've got quite a few of them. So it's a bit addictive when you start buying the reborn dolls. You get the bug for it. Like people say, like with the tattoos, when you get a tattoo and you want more, it's like with reborns, you get one and you want more.
so it seems quite addictive, doesn't it? So when you found out you were 15, so you was quite young, and the doctor told you that you can't have children or potentially. How did
Yeah.
that make you feel?
Mixed emotions. I wasn't thinking about children at that age, but I suppose when someone tells you you can't have something, it sort of makes you want it more. So I did get quite upset um, finding that out, and yeah, so it did. I did got quite upset, I suppose, and the dolls, finding out about them did really comfort me and help with that.
No, it seems like the reborn dolls was a type of therapy for you to accept, obviously, what the doctor had just said, but also to comfort you as well. Um,
Yeah.
so, over the years, when you started to build on your doll collection, um, did it affect your relationship or getting into a relationship, or did you tell? Um,
Sometimes. I was quite open about it, like all the time, like telling people about my dolls all the time. So it probably like freaked a lot of people out. And over the years, I'd had like a couple of boyfriends, and some of them were not very keen on the dolls. And then at one point, like I was single for quite a long time, and I was living with my parents back then, and my mum said to me, "Oh, how come you never bring any guys back or anything?" And I was like, "Well, mum, have you seen my bedroom? It's like eyes, shelves everywhere, dolls looking at you." And I was like, "I don't think it'd be very wise."
So
Probably like
did
they'd walk into the room and they'd run a mile.
you, so did you think that having a reborn collection would affect you from having a relationship?
Um, with some, yeah, I think it depends, yeah, on the person. Some guys would get. I found out like I didn't think it was like a creepy thing, but I found out since collecting dolls, apparently a lot of people are creeped out by dolls. So a lot of people are quite like, especially a lot of guys, are creeped out by dolls. It turns out.
Yeah.
But I suppose, like, I think at the end of the day, like, the dolls aren't ever going to go anywhere. It's like a passion for me. So I either have to find someone that accepts it or they're not the right person. So,
Really? If you came across, just a random question, if you came across somebody and that said, look, I really want to be with you, but you have to get rid of all your dolls, what would you say? What would you do?
I would say no. I wouldn't be getting with that person. No,
And why is
definitely
that?
not.
That you
Because
feel that,
they they still have a lot of sentimental value to me. As I know I've got, you know, they they got there's just a lot of sentimental value in them as well, and it's not just like an object, if that makes sense. It's like it's just like something really special sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like I know like there's sentimental things people have like photo albums and stuff. You know, the like or some people have like jewelry passed down from their grandmother and stuff, and it's like the special little things, and it's like it's sort of it's got more meaning than just a possession, if that makes sense.
is there a particular doll that is your favourite that you have now? And if you could you show the doll to us?
I've got a couple of dolls with me here.
Yeah.
Um, okay, he's quite a cheeky chappy. So this guy,
Oh gosh, she does real.
he's
Wow.
called Harry.
What's his name,
He's
sorry?
Harry.
Harry. Okay.
Yeah, he's very cheeky looking, very cute sculpt, and I've got a little girl here as well. I'll get her up.
Wow.
And
Gosh, this
she's called Elizabeth.
really realistic. And they are
Really,
beautiful.
yeah, I know. That's
Are
why I can't
these
collect them.
are these your particular favourite ones? Harry and the
Um,
little girl.
my favourite ones are my portrait babies, which are
Okay.
dolls I've got uh, look like my kids when they were born.
So
So
you can have dolls made if you give a picture of, like, if I give a picture of my niece, would someone
yeah,
make a doll looking like my niece when she was a baby?
yeah. You
That
can
is
get
some talent.
portrait. Yeah. I got one, and when my boy was born, he had like a really screwed up, like grumpy little newborn face sort of thing. And I a friend made me a doll, and it looks exactly like he did as a baby, newborn. And I come across another doll that I thought looked quite like my little girl as a newborn. But I'm gonna she's gonna have a little bit more work done. The other doll, just a slight touch up on the paint, and then yeah, they both look like my little ones as newborns. So them dolls will never go anywhere, even if I met a guy, because like they're like constantly, they're like what my kids look like when they were first born.
Yeah.
So there's such a special place in my heart. So I'm never gonna part with those dolls.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've mentioned obviously you've got children now. Um, how did that happen? Because obviously you were 15, you were told that you can't have children, and then all of a sudden, I mean, did you just get better, or
Uh,
are you still diagnosed with the condition that you have? Well, had or
yeah, I've still got PCOS. I tried like loads of different sort of natural and all sorts of different stuff for it, like medications over the years to try and help with the PCOS, and nothing ever like worked. And then I was on a new type of medication that I found out about online to help with all the PCOS symptoms, and I'm pretty sure that's what did it because um, I didn't even realise myself I was pregnant until quite far along, and I yeah, it was a complete shock.
yeah, and how did you feel apart from obviously the shock, but in terms of emotions, how did you feel?
um, yeah, like sort of unbelievable. I couldn't even believe it because it had been like nearly like 10 years since I was told I couldn't have children. So it is just like unreal, and I was extremely like excited but very nervous as well. I think excited, nervous, and just still like not believing, like couldn't believe what was happening.
So
So
two children now. What about your reborn collection then? So do your children play with your dolls now, or do you just keep it as a sentimental? Uh,
yeah, well, I've got lots of dolls that they can play with, but not the reborns.
reborns?
The
So
reborns,
why not let them play with the reborns?
well, just in case they sort of damaged them or something. They're quite gentle a lot of the time. My little boy's come up before and he's gone, oh baby, and he's come up and I've showed him a doll and he's given it a kiss or a hug or something, and he's usually quite gentle because he's used to being gentle with his little sister. But yeah, she's still quite young. I showed her one today actually. She was just trying to like gum it. Like she just wanted to put the doll in her mouth. I'm like, no.
Wow. So in reality, there is adults, or there are adults, sorry, that do collect dolls, have a massive passion for dolls and enjoy collecting them. It doesn't mean necessarily playing with them, but it's more so treating them like real babies because they look like real babies. But
Yeah.
also, it's just a passion, isn't it? It seems like it's just mainly a passion. Like, we have passions for several different things. Like, I have a passion for jewelry and I love collecting jewelry. And of course, people like yourself have a passion for collecting dolls. My next question would be is that now that you've got two beautiful children, do you still collect dolls?
I do, but not as much. Nowhere near as much as I used to. I used to get like loads of dolls all the time, but now it's very rare. Every now and then I'll get a new doll, but usually I'll sell dolls to buy dolls or switch up the collection a bit.
Yeah. So would you say that it's more so your passion is still there, but because you've got children now, basically the real babies that you've had, you've kind of calmed down. I'm not sure if that's the right term, but you're not
Yeah,
you've lost.
I just stick to sort of certain sculpts now, like certain types of dolls that I really like, and I just look out for those sort of thing. Just my favourite sort of sculpts, and try to keep a smaller amount and just like the favourite dolls. And
When you
I try
say
not to buy any unless I really, really, really like them.
so, when you say sculpts, what do you mean? Like, what's the difference in?
There's all different sculpts. A sculpt is like the blank kit which starts before, and then from that a reborn doll is made. and there's all different sort of sculpts. Like the little smiley boy, he's from the Sunny sculpt, and I really
Okay.
like that sculpt. So I've got like 7 of them. And the little
Oh,
girl is from the Olivia sculpt, which I also really like, and I've got like 15 of them.
wow.
So I try to keep like certain sculpts that I like and just like collect them. In so
So once you've obviously, because you say you collect your dolls in different sculpts, and when you go to sell them, do you get them for a, a higher price or lower price? I mean, what happens when you trade? How does that work?
usually when you sell the doll, because it's classed as a resale instead of new, you get a bit less for it. Usually because um, usually there's a lot of people like, especially the people who treat them like real babies and like play with them day in and day out, and dress them a lot, use them a lot. Because of all the use, their skin can become a bit shiny, or their hair can come out a little bit, and this, that, and the other. So they can be like slightly not as pristine quality as when they're new.
Yeah.
But because mine just pretty much stay in a glass cabinet, um, they're pretty much in the same condition as when I got them. So usually I sell them for not a bit less than what I paid, or sometimes a fair bit less, depending. Like sometimes I sell them for a little bit less than what I paid for them, or sometimes if I see a doll I really want and I've got no money, I like sell them for quite a bit cheaper so I can get some money to buy the doll, new doll. So it depends.
So, do you get buyers quite quick, or do you have to wait a long time?
It depends. Some of them can go quite quick, and then some of them like uh, takes ages to sell a doll. It's really weird. Sometimes I've had dolls, and I've had 2 dolls, and I was trying to sell them for months, and they didn't sell for ages, and then they finally sold, and then within like a couple of weeks, I had like loads of people messaging me about them. It's like, no, they've gone now. I was thinking, why didn't you message me before? I've been trying to sell them for months. So it's weird. Yeah, I think it depends what people are looking for at the time and everything, and what sculpts are popular and everything like that.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to touch upon is, I mean, to be fair, you did mention it about people finding it weird, or your boyfriend or whatever. Do you feel you get judged for being a doll collector?
I think, yeah, a lot of people think they're the crazy doll lady, the crazy baby lady sort of thing. But I don't know. It's just a bit weird, really. Like I think the term crazy with it. I mean, a lot of people collect things. A lot of guys collect action figures or train sets, and a woman collects a doll, and she's crazy. So I don't know.
Because um once again, when I was doing a little bit of research, I found that a lot of people call doll collectors certain names like creepy or weird or strange. Um, but we don't understand that it's actually a passion. But how do you feel when you see stuff or hear stuff like this?
Oh, I don't know. I don't mind being called weird though, to be honest. But I just I don't know. I've got quite a thick skin, really, to be honest. So I'm not really too bothered.
Yeah, so it seems that because you've been a
But
doll collector for a while, you're quite happy within what you do and you don't really care for being
I
judged.
yeah, I used to be a lot more before I had the kids. When I first started collecting them, I used to take them out like loads or talk to like anyone about them. That were so people probably thought I was like really really over the top. So probably people probably thought I was creepy and weird loads, but
But I mean, did it affect your group of friends, or like you making friends, like your social time, or did you manage to find a group of friends that had the same passion as you?
no, I don't have friends that have the same passion, but they a lot of my friends like if I went to a friend. who's like having like a house party, or a few drinks, or just a social gathering around theirs, and I'd take a doll, and they like loads of people would be like, wow, and especially the girls. More the guys would just stay away. They'd be creeped out more. Or sometimes I used to take the doll down the pub when it was quiet, when I was working a shift, and a lot of the ladies, they'd love to have a hold, but the guys just stay back. They just stay back.
Oh. So you used to take these dolls out in public and, with your friends and stuff. What made you
Yeah.
want to take them? Why, or one or two? I wouldn't say the whole 100, but why would you take
I
them?
don't know, I just sort of I liked having them around really. So sometimes I'd want to go out, and I think I'll be a quiet night tonight. I'll take one out with me and sort of thing. So I just like to show them off, and I'd talk to anyone. Like I'd be at the bar and talking to some random person, and I'd just like be like, I've got 36 babies, and I just start talking to anyone about anything, about the dolls. I'd be like, look at my dolls. I'm just showing them pictures on my phone, and people are just like, who's this woman?
Scared of being judged at all?
Not really. I mean, I think most of the people who know me know I'm quite eccentric anyway, so they're kind of used to it. And other people, well, they then met me and found out I was a bit weird anyway, or eccentric or whatever. So,
But do you think it's right for people to call doll collectors weird or strange? I mean, or
no, I
creepy?
just don't understand it. I think like a lot of people are scared of dolls. I don't know. That's because of like sometimes horror movies have dolls and stuff like Chucky and stuff, or I don't know. But I know a lot of people, especially guys, are quite creeped out about dolls. So I think maybe it's just the people that say stuff like that are more because they're a bit scared of dolls. That's why maybe they say it. I don't know. To be honest, maybe these dolls freak them out. They creep them out, so they think whoever collects them's creepy, maybe. But I've always loved horror movies and horror Chucky and dolls like that. So
Well, I mean, there's a Chucky doll as well, isn't there? A Chucky
I,
reborn doll. I've
I used to
seen.
have, yeah, I used to have a life-size good guy doll, the replica from the first movie of the Chucky doll. I
Really?
used to have one of those. I actually, when I found out I was pregnant with Toby, I actually sold it to make some money, um, towards so I could get like a cot and stuff.
Yeah.
So I actually
Wow.
sold
So
the
it's
Chucky
not
doll
just.
to Toby.
So it seems like your passion isn't just the baby dolls. It's like all types of different ones, like the horror ones and different sculpts and stuff. Do you have
Yeah.
any Ashton Drake dolls, or is it you prefer to speak to an artist that can make a doll?
Yeah, I don't have any Ashton Drake dolls. I've never got one before, so I don't really know what they're like. I've heard good and bad stories, but I just prefer to go with the reborn dolls. So I
And
think
now
that's
that
just
you mentioned bad stories, are there any scams that go around in regards to the reborn dolls? Because I've heard a lot of
yes.
stuff where uh, there's a real reborn dolls and then there's scam dolls. Could you just tell me a little
Oh
bit
yeah.
about the difference?
So mostly because of websites. So um like it's a lot on your phone. Like sometimes like things will pop up like what you're talking about. Like you'll be talking about a jacuzzi, and then you'll get an advert on Google or Facebook for jacuzzis, and you're like, how does that happen? And it's like a lot of like ads, especially on like social media platforms, they come up for these sites. I'll buy a reborn doll. But any of those that come up are scams, and you shouldn't go on them. You should always get a reborn doll from an actual artist, not off these websites. There's but only about two websites that are legit, and there's like about 100 that are scam sites. So it's always best just to avoid just buy through like Facebook or eBay, because they say put pictures of what they say you're going to get, and they steal other artists' pictures, artists' work, and yeah, when people then go to get the doll, they'll either get sent nothing, or they get sent like a complete toy doll that looks nothing like a reborn doll, and it's stuff like that. But occasionally you can get like actually a person like on Facebook, um, who's a scammer. People can sometimes post like, oh, I've got this doll for sale, and they actually haven't got that doll. They've stole someone's photo, and they're saying they've got this doll. They get the money off someone, and then they don't post them. They post them like an empty box or something, or don't post the doll. That's why it's another thing is everyone should pay by goods and services, not friends and family, through PayPal, which is what most people buy the dolls from, because if they pay from by goods and services, they're not covered. So if they get scammed, they can't get their money back. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It makes sense. So you wouldn't think that there'll be scammers for dolls. But it's
Yeah.
actually a big world of just reborn dolls or dolls in general. And I just feel it's not really out there much. It was only recently I just liked a page on Facebook and I was like, wow, the doll world is so big. Did come across, hence I asked you the question about scams, because I've seen a lot of posts where people have paid hundreds and hundreds of pounds and they get sent a doll that looks very basically something that you'd give to a child, it's more like a baby Annabelle or a baby Born or baby Choo Choo, different kinds of dolls, basically those kind of dolls, then the actual reborn realistic dolls that look real, like what you've just shown me. Why would people do it? Is it just to make quick money then?
I think because people only started finding out about the reborn world like years ago, and it's like got bigger and bigger, and more people have found out about it, and more people have like, decided they're going to get some dolls, and I think people have also noticed that the reborn doll world's getting bigger, and there's a lot of scam artists, but yeah, like all the websites that people get the dolls from, they also take like they say they take months to arrive because it's all based in China, and that's where all the scam sites are coming from as well. So
Ah.
and also um, there's some of the reborn sculpts have been copied and over in China, and they've made knockoff versions using um, chemi materials and stuff that are not as safe as the ones we use, and people buy them sometimes without knowing, and it's not as good quality, and also breaks down over time, and um, the hair falls out, the paint comes off, and there's been debates whether it's actually is actually gives off toxic chemicals or not. There's been debates about that and how they're not safe for children, and so that's been happening as well. And artists have been trying to fight, like the company in China who's been taking copies of their sculpts for years, but they can't open up a proper lawsuit, and it takes this much money because they're in a different country. It's so difficult and everything, and so that's one of the main problems. And it's all the fake websites coming from over there, and then that's where everyone's getting the dolls from. That's why they're waiting months for the dolls, and then when the dolls arrive, it's nothing like the pictures.
That's really right. The dress completely different material, how it looks doesn't fit on you where you want it to. So it's quite heartbreaking, especially when people have a passion for it as well, and they get something completely different to what's shown on the pictures. You've mentioned
Yeah.
times about an artist. So are these people that actually make the dolls, so paint it and give it hair?
Yeah. So there's sculptors who actually sculpt the kits, and sometimes they're artists as well. But usually they get sent away to other artists who make the kits. So and they do like layer upon layer of paint, which takes a very long time because you have to do the layer and you have to wait for it to dry before you can do another layer. And you have to do so many layers to get like a realistic, really thin layers of colour upon each other to get a realistic sort of 3D look. So like it's easy 40 plus layers of paint, and then they have to micro each hair at a time, and it's really
Wow.
time consuming to make the dolls and to get the best quality materials as well, like nice quality eyes are like £20 or plus to get nice quality glass eyes, and to get nice quality hair and the needles for the hair and the paintbrushes and the paints, and like the sculpts alone easily go for over £100. So a lot, that's why they're so expensive, because most of the time, with all the materials and everything, an artist pays out for to use to make the sculpt can easily cost £250, say, and say if they've taken months or weeks to make it, they then have to like sort of charge what they think their time's worth, if that makes sense. And a lot of time, most artists are only, if you break down the cost of how much they've spent to make the doll and all the hours they spent making the doll, if you work it out, most artists are only making a couple of pounds an hour, if that. That's why.
Oh, I see. It seems
Mm,
like it's a lot of effort, even just to
yeah,
make one doll. But if
yeah,
they sell the one doll, they'd actually make quite a lot of money. Well, that's what we think. But like you just said, the amount of
yeah, but it's, yeah, and it takes quite a while to get like good to sort of sell the doll for a decent amount of money. So it's always good to practice. I find on like blank, like it's good to practice even on like baby dolls and charity shops and stuff, just to practice the painting techniques and routing and stuff. It's good to practice on stuff like that before spending out all the money on a actual sculpt sort of thing.
have you ever thought about trying to make your own reborn doll? Or
Sorry, so it
have you
broke
ever?
up a bit. I couldn't.
No, that's okay. Have you ever thought about becoming an artist yourself, or do you prefer to just be
Um,
a
I,
collector?
I've made some dolls. Yeah, I've got the materials now. I've made a few dolls, but I'm not. I made dolls and I didn't feel my standard was high enough to sell them, so I made some dolls and I gave them to friends and family. But um, and I haven't made any dolls since Toby was born, so it's been like 2 years since I've made any dolls now. But I think I doubted myself a bit, if that makes sense, because I collected quite high-end dolls. And the
Yeah.
first lot of dolls I started making, I was upset because they weren't as good as the ones I collected. But I should have realised that it's going to take time to get that good, as good as other artists and stuff. Because they weren't actually that bad, the dolls I made. I've seen people make a lot worse and sell them for and try to sell them for quite a lot of money. So,
Bless you. Well,
but
I am going
I
to
haven't got the time at the moment.
just wrap up now. I just wanted to ask you, what advice would you give to reborn collectors?
Just to um, take their time when choosing a doll, making a purchase, make sure the buyer or company's legit, and just to have fun, not worry about what other people think or say, and just enjoy your babies and collection, really.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. I want to say a massive thank you. That's from myself and my team for taking the time out and obviously talking to me and sharing your experience about being a doll collector. And I want to wish you all the best.
Thank you.